Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the new patch. This is patch 6.6, Rogues of Runeterra. Let's call it part 2, even though they don't. Where we get Twisted Fate into Path of Champions along with the full constellation, and we get Sett his full constellation as well. And there's also new adventures to talk about. So we're going to go over all of that. If you want to skip to somewhere, there should be timestamps where you'll be able to do that. So as always, we start with the Battle Pass, and as always, it is a Battle Pass. I don't log what is in each Battle Pass. There are people who do that, so if you want to check Reddit, you can see and kind of find the difference. But I do like to see what is available for the Gold Star Vessel, since that's where you get Nova Shards. So we have Bilgewater here, and then you have more Bilgewater Nova Shards. You have a Shurima Silver Star Vessel, which can technically give you Nova Shards. Probably won't, though. Runeterra, Bilgewater Nova Shards, Bilgewater Nova Shards, Chargon Silver Star, and Bilgewater Major Gemstone Vessel, and Ionia Gold Star Vessel, so that the Bilgewater covers Twisted Fate, and the Ionia covers Sett. So that's what we have here. If you want to purchase it, it's about $10. I think it's pretty worthwhile. So, yeah. Moving on to the shop. We do have the Battle Pass. Like I said, it's about 10 bucks. We also have this Getaway Bundle. So in it you get an Ionia Nova Crystal, a Bilgewater Nova Crystal, and you also get 5 Gold Star Vessels. That's actually pretty nice. And 5 Gold Vaults. So I think in total, this will give you 3 full Nova Crystals, because each Gold Star Vessel is going to give you 20 at least Nova Shards, but they can be of any random region, so you might not get a full crystal for the region that you want, or any region. Actually, you could get 5 different regions with 20 each. But if this is a thing you wanted, getting 3 Nova Crystals for $100 is... I'm not going to say it's cheap. It is a good deal proportionate to other Nova Crystal deals in Legends of Runeterra, and I don't buy these because they're too expensive for me. But, you know, everyone has a different financial situation. Maybe it makes sense for you. You do have the Twisted Fate Celebration Bundle, so you get your Twisted Fate Fragments, the Deck of Destiny, some Greater Cosmic Blessings to level them up, Spirit Forges to give them all the epics, and of course 5 Silver Vaults, which probably, I mean, if you're early in your time playing Runeterra, it might still help give you some extra shards that you need. But if you're like an old time player, that probably is just Stardust. You have the 4-star bundle, which is more fragments. You get the star crystals to level them to 4-star. Get some extra Stardust, some gold vaults, and some silver star vessels. And then the 5-star bundle is even more fragments. You get minor gemstone vessels, some platinum vaults, 50 star crystals to get him up to the 5-star, and also 50 wild fragments. I don't buy the 4 5-star bundles, but if you really like the champion and you're just overflowing with cash, it's a thing you can definitely do. Sett's bundles are going to be the same except for Sett instead of for Twisted Fate. His relic is Champion's Purse. I don't think we really need to go over that more. Celebration bundles are permanent now, so you can buy them whenever. You don't have to rush for it. There's no fear of missing out there. Apparently a Pride bundle too. So we'll go ahead and pick that up. And then, yeah, here are just all the old bundles that I have not purchased. But yeah, so that is what is available for your dollar bills. In the relics section, we do have the 2 new ones, Champion's Purse, +2/+0, and Overwhelm. When I kill an enemy in combat, create 2 coins in hand. I don't know who this is good for. In terms of the second half of that, +2 +0 and Overwhelm is pretty good. Maybe you stick this on Mbessa, that might actually be like a best in slot for her. Something like that, something that's just going to be attacking a lot and challenging units. If we ever get Jarvan, I think this would be kind of incredible on him. And then creating 2 coins in hand is good because coins are pretty strong, they give you just mana. And 2 of them makes it so that basically giving you 1 mana because playing the coin costs a mana. But if you are generating more, then you get more value out of them as well. So maybe something like Diana would be good on 2. You could cast a lot more of her champion spell, whose name I can't remember right now. I feel like it starts with a G. It really doesn't, it was Pale Cascade. Either way, you could cast a lot of Pale Cascades and that would probably be good. Might be good on Jack as well, he likes coins. So I think it has a lot of potential uses. +2 and Overwhelm is just kind of good on its own, and the coins are just extra. Maybe Aurelian Soul would like it, I don't know. And then Twisted Fates Relic is Deck of Destiny, this is +1/+1, and Power, game start, create a 1-cost wildcard in your deck for every 7 cards in your deck. I think decks normally start with like 20, so you would be creating 3 pretty early, so that's cool. Wildcards are strong. They're 2-cost bursts, and they play a Destiny card. Destiny cards are red card, blue card, and gold card. Blue card is refill 1 spell mana, draw 1. Red card is deal 1 to all enemies in the enemy nexus. And gold card is deal 2 and stun the strongest enemy. Any of these can, and they are skills, so things that proc off of skills will like them. Something like Jhin, perhaps. Giving you extra ways to draw and stun in those early rounds where you're more vulnerable is probably pretty good. So I think both of these will have potential uses. You could do something silly like get Stack Deck and Deck of Destiny, and then just keep buying low-cost cards until your hand is full to start. I don't know if that'd be good, but it's something you can do. Next we'll go on to talk about Sett. So for Relics, this is what I used for Lysandra. It was really nice. Not probably the typical thing you would use. Wicked Harvest, I think in most cases you'd prefer either Archangel Staff or Arcane Comet in that slot. If you are using Epic Relics, Chosen by the Stars, always very good. And if you have Starforged Gauntlets, you can do that along with Luminous Orb. And then you get an extra mana to start, which gets you 1 step closer to playing Sett, and also using Chemtech Duplicator. So that is a thing you can do if you have Starforged Gauntlets. Otherwise I would suggest any of the other things. Putting a source of overwhelm on him isn't bad either. His whole goal is to make big units and attack with them. And let us look at what Sett's constellation is. So I think his constellation has a pretty slick design, but it looks like it has accessibility problems. I haven't even looked at what these are, but just looking at it, it seems like there's no way this could be good. But we'll start with your 1 star, which is Knuckle Up. After you spend 6 mana each round, grant allies +1/+1. 2 star is Bet on Sett, +1 starting mana, round start create a coin in hand. 3 star is Knuckle Up 2. After you spend 6 mana each round, grant allies +2/+2. After you spend 12 mana each round, rally. So this is really good once Sett is on the board and you're able to generate a lot of coins, and then you have a bunch of units on the board, you just keep pumping them up and attacking. Star of Bounty is 10 Nexus health, 4 regen. I'll actually look at that here, because it'll just be easier to look at. So your 4-star power is out the gates. Game start, summon a 2-cost unit from your deck. 5-star is of course Mana Flow. which is just an extra mana gem. Echo's probably better on him than necessarily a lot of others because you do need Chemtech active for him to really take advantage of his whole kit. And then you have a 6-star, which is when you play a coin with 5+ stacks, summon Sett. If you already have a Sett, create a showstopper in hand instead. So you can play Sett at burst speed by playing a coin, and then you have your Sett. Hopefully your Sett levels up, but if you already have Sett, you get Showstopper, which obliterates an enemy, which is a really strong power. It'll go through Spell Shield if you have Chemtech Duplicator active. I think the 6-star, you could probably get it up by round 2 or 3. Definitely round 2, I think, if you had Mana Flow, but round 2 or 3 is probably my expectation for being able to play him, which means he's going to come on board maybe around the same time you get him on board anyway. But if you do play him, you can also Showstopper, so that is nice. You could also do like Frozen Tomb on him, so that you get 2 copies and then your Chemtech Duplicator activates twice, and that's pretty strong. Your Star of Bounty is 10 Nexus health, 4 regen. This is just, I mean, it's fine. Star of Legends is your support champions have focusing crystal. That's pretty good because you cast a lot of spells. If you can get both Sett and your support on board, your support should end up huge. Maybe try to find one with like Overwhelm or Elusive. Star of Blessing is Zephyr Sage has a Dragon Egg, so it just summons an extra unit. Yeah, I mean, sure, whatever, it's fine. Spells you acquire in adventures that cost 4 or more have cashback. This is create 2 coins in hand. If you have Chemtech active, you'll be playing spells for free. So let's say you play a 4-cost spell, you get 2 coins back. It'll play twice because of Chemtech, so you'll get 4 coins back. That's the entire cost of the spell. Also, if Chemtech is active, those 4 coins will then become 8 coins, or 8 mana at least. So yeah, you can find good spells that either draw cards or do damage. I think you could be in a pretty good infinite loop. Star of Wonders coin has Stopwatch. This is incredible because sometimes you just need that extra mana at speed. There's no downside to it. Like sometimes if you turn slow into burst, you lose out on the slow and steady, but this is just a nice upgrade. And then of course you have the gemstone upgrades. Support cards have an additional item, +5 to epic items and powers, +1 to legendary powers, +4 regen for Ionia champions, and +100 XP for Ionia champions. All very normal stuff. So now let's look at the accessibility. Star of Bounties, Star of Blessings, Star of Discovery, Star of Wonder into your 6-star. So your 6-star is actually not blocked off by anything weird. You probably want to pick up all those bonus stars anyway, but it is very expensive to get there because you do have to buy all the bonus stars on the way. That's going to cost you 80, 120, 160 just to get over to your 6-star, but from an accessibility standpoint, I actually don't mind that, it's fine. Your 4-star is out the gates, it's not blocking any of your bonus stars. I will say that your 2 good bonus stars are blocked by the 2 bad bonus stars, so that's less good, but I mean, overall it's probably still fine. 4 stars out the gates, and it's just off your 3-star, it's fine. And then Star of Legends is blocked by the 4-star, which is bad. And then your 5-star is Mana Flow, blocked off by your 4-star, which also not great, but not the worst. And then each of these can be purchased in any order you choose, which is actually kind of nice. That is not always the case. So I'd give it like an A- in accessibility. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad, and I think it looks cool. Like, I think that you have like this sense of motion almost with it, even though it's just Sett standing still. Anyway, moving on to how you actually use Sett. So his starting deck is 2 Dancing Droplet, 2 Attentive Accountant. So Dancing Droplet comes with Philosopher's Stone at some champion level. You can look over these whenever you want, so at level 9. Your upgrades are Pit Professional, gets Chain Vest, so you just get tough. That helps because it's a 3 health unit, and sometimes you get attacked for 3. This actually happens more often than not, I would say. Place your bets, get Mana Potion, so that makes it cost 4. Bout Security has Studded Leather. I don't know how much this one matters. Dancing Droplet has Philosopher's Stone. This makes it so that if you recall it, you draw 1, and if you play it, you draw 1. And if you recall it, then play it, that's even more draw. Sometimes that happens. You do have Tag Out in the deck, which allows you to recall your own units. Zephyr Sage has Iceborne. It used to be Studded Leather. I think Iceborne is a pretty significant upgrade over Studded Leather. Deals 2 to all enemies and the enemy nexus. Could get you in trouble if something gets more powerful the more it's attacked, like I Am Inevitable in the Lysandra adventure, but other than that I think it's just strictly better than Studded Leather. Tag Out has Sapphire Crystal, that gives you a mana gem. Coastal Defender has Phage, so he's a 4-cost 4/8 that can get bigger, it's not bad. Attentive Accountant has Studded Leather, this makes it a 2/3 on play. Could be bigger, I would prefer like a 3/4 would be good. And then Pit Professional has Ancient Coin, so -1 cost, only costs 2. And then Coastal Defender has Great Club, so it automatically gets Overwhelm. So those are the champion upgrades. And then, or the level upgrades. Champion level upgrades? Sure, one of those. So like I said, Dancing Droplet costs 1, you draw a card. If you don't draw the card that you need, this is a good way to get to it. When it's recalled, it also draws 1. It's also elusive by nature, so it's something that you can pump up a lot. Attentive Accountant, also elusive. Next is straight create a coin in hand. This is a really good way to early on get coins. Most adventures can't block elusive that early, and so you usually get free value from that. Pit Professional has tough and -1 cost, so it costs 2 for 3/3. When summoned, creates a coin. Tag Out costs 2 to recall an ally, or 5 to recall an enemy, and creates a coin in hand. It also gives you a mana gem when played. This is a fast spell. Bout Security is, I think, one of the pillars of how Sett plays. When I'm summoned, create a fleeting Bout Security in hand and grant other Bout Security +1/+1. Powered 5 gets Quick Attack. This comes with Studded Leather, which puts it closer to the Empowered 5. Bout Security is something you can play just a lot of times as you take advantage of coins and doubling up on coins. So, or if you get things that reduce the cost of cards, cost of created cards. Sometimes you just get into a train where you can literally play this card infinitely, and that's pretty good. Coastal Defender, he's a 4/4/8 Overwhelm that gets bigger when you summon allies. It's really not a bad card. It's better than you would think for costing 4. Place Your Bets is one of the other major cards in Sett's deck. So for 4 cost at burst, you draw 2 and create 2 coins in hand. Because those coins can be hit with Chemtech Duplicator, and because Place Your Bets will be hit with Chemtech Duplicator, you'll usually draw 4 and create 4 coins, and then the 4 coins will create 7 mana. 1 to pay for itself, and then 7 extra. And then drawing cards lets you play cards, which lets you spend that mana, which triggers the 3-star Constellation ability. And yeah, so that's kind of the combo that you get in when you're playing Sett. And of course there's Sett itself. First time I would drop below 1 health while attacking, give me Barrier instead. Level up, you've spent 40 mana. Level up usually does happen, but usually you're winning if it happens. Importantly, he has Challenger, and when he would drop below health, he gets Barrier instead. So that does help him be able to remove like high damage units with low health, which is pretty nice. His champion spell is Facebreaker, which is a slow spell, stun 2 enemies and create a coin in your hand. And again, this will, because you're going to be using it with Chemtech Duplicator, it'll be able to get through Spell Shield, which is great, and then it'll create 2 coins in hand, and then, yeah, that's pretty nice. And then when you're leveled up, you create a Showstopper, I think? Yeah, each round you create a Showstopper in hand. once you've spent 12 mana that round. So you create showstoppers which obliterate enemies, and then do 1 damage to all other units and all other enemies in the enemy nexus. It's a really strong ability to get rid of those things that you can't otherwise get rid of. It's kind of like an Arcane Comet, which is a very powerful spell. And then of course you have coins. So yeah, that's Sett. I do have a video doing him at 3 stars and beating Lysandra that you can look at if you want to see how I play him. Basically, you want to get Sett on the board, Chemtech active, and then play something like Place Your Bets or Bout Security to win the game. Everything else just kind of exists to let you survive long enough to accomplish that. And I think it's very strong when it happens. Next we have Twisted Fate. So his constellation, I think it's supposed to look like this accordioning of the cards. It's a weird design. I kind of like it, it's cool. There's a lot of interesting connection points. Like this connects in 2 ways, this connects in 2 ways. You have a lot of ways to get to your towers. Let's see, so your 3 star is here, 4 star is here, but you don't have to get the 4 star. You could instead get your bonus stars. This is vision. Okay. Rex has Luden's Tempest. Crazy. Maybe I should read these before I talk about the accessibility of them. So you can get to your 5 star, your 6 star, and then your whatever these are called, gemstone powers are available over at the side. Gemstone powers have weird accessibility. So you either need the 6 star or to buy Celestial Bounty here in order to move on and pick up Celestial Insight or Celestial Legends, and you need those to get Celestial Fortune. Just like the weirdest lockout I've ever seen, but I guess they did it for the design. Anyway, that aside, his constellations are 1 star. When you play your 3rd card each round, create a wild card in hand. Wild card plays a Destiny card at burst 2 cost. Luck of the Draw, +1 starting mana. Cards you draw after the first each round cost 1 less. I hear, and I don't know if this is a bug or not, that the cost reduction only lasts the round that you pick it up. So, potentially not as good as it looks, because you would assume that they would keep their -1 cost forever, but seems like they do not. And yeah, I don't know if that's a bug or not, don't know if that's something that they're going to look to change, but right now that is how it works, I am told. Wildcard 2, when you play your 3rd card each round, create a 1 cost wild card in hand, so it's the same as this, it's just reduced in cost. I don't know, I think I'd prefer it be a 0 cost. I don't think it's so strong that it needed to have a cost for it. Higher Education, when you draw a card, give allies +1/+0 this round. This is a really strong power, especially since you can draw so many cards with the Twisted Fate deck. And then if you put anything with Overwhelm on the board, you could probably attack for a lot of damage really quickly. I would say the Beast Within is probably looking like one of the relics that you want to use on him, but maybe depends on how you're playing the game. Mana Flow is of course just the 5 star, get a mana gem, and your 6 star is your Destiny cards are replaced with improved versions of blue card, red card, and gold card. Blue card doubles in strength, refill 2 spell mana, draw 2. Red card does the same, deal 2 to all enemies and the enemy nexus. So that's doubled from 1. Remember, these are affected by things like Luden's Tempest and Elemental Winds, just things that you can find throughout adventures. And then gold card is deal 7 and stun the strongest enemy. Dealing 7 is better than dealing 2 for sure. So that is the main star powers for Twisted Fate. The bonus stars are +20 Nexus Health and +4 Vision. 20 Nexus health is probably really good, especially if you're a slow starter, to just keep you alive until you can get on board and really start playing. I imagine Twisted Fate is a Chemtech abuser, and if that's true, he needs to survive until round 5 if you don't have the 5-star ability. And so having extra Nexus health lets you just absorb more hits. +4 vision, how many nodes you can see ahead of you in an adventure. This will let you pick your pathing a little bit better, but I think generally it doesn't really matter that much. Every so often you want to see more than one ahead, but honestly not that often. Star of Legends, your support champions have Entrancing Lure. This draws cards. I don't know if this is good because I feel like Twisted Fate can probably deck himself out. I was actually hoping that his 6-star power was if you run out of cards in your deck you win the game, but that didn't happen. That would have been cool with this though. Star of Blessings, his slot bot has Augment, which is fine, I think. If you give slot bot Overwhelm, maybe that's in the champion levels, then you'll be able to get him pretty strong, and then you just stack with him and win the game. Star of Discovery is 6+ cost cards you acquire in adventures have Power Rift, so those 6 cost cards should be reduced probably to like 3 pretty easily, which is nice. Ruined Rex has Luden's Tempest, so Luden's Tempest is great, and Ruined Rex is a good unit to put that on, so when he drops, those cannon barrages will do a little bit of extra damage. And since he plays them for each card you've drawn this round, you should be able to play like a good number of cannon barrages, so that sounds like it's a good combination, pretty fun. Then of course we have the Gemstone powers. Supports have an additional item, +5 to epic items and powers, +1 to legendary, +50 starting gold for Bilgewater champions, and +100 XP for Bilgewater champions. So obviously I haven't played Twisted Fate yet. He's level 1 with no stars. I'm going to rectify that right now. I'm shard capped, so I don't mind just spending them right now. The Twisted Fate's deck is Pool Shark. When I'm summoned, draw 1 at the next round and grant it fleeting. That is fine. Black Market Merchant. When you draw an enemy card, reduces cost by 1, and Plunder is nab 1. I think Plunder is going to be something that is relatively easy to trigger, and so I think Twisted Fate's build is probably going to look something like Packed Powder and or Scourge's Stash, Chemtech Duplicator, and then maybe something like Banshee's Veil, so that he doesn't die instantly. Maybe Guardian Angel instead if you're also using Packed Powder. Something to that effect where you're going to want to be able to keep him alive. And I don't know how easy that's going to be to do, or honestly how important it will be for him to stay alive. It'll really depend on what else is going on. You have Dreadway Deckhand. When I'm summoned, summon a Powder Keg. Powder Keg adds damage to your spells and skills. That'll help your red card and your gold card. You have Make It Rain, which is a pretty strong card. Deal 1, 2, 3 different randomly targeted enemies or the enemy nexus. Again, you can increase that power with the Dreadway Deckhand or the Ruined Rex. So most of his deck is cheap, which is pretty good. You have Pick a Card. This is also his champion spell. To play, place a card from your hand into your deck, draw 2 at the round start, and grant them fleeting. We'll see how that works. You have Slotbot. Without being able to recycle your fleeting cards, you might just fill up your hand or just discard things that you would want later. Slotbot, I imagine, is going to be one of the power cards in the deck. When I'm summoned around start, grant me +0/+1 for each card you drew last round, then shuffle my stats. You have Twisted Fate. On play, he plays a Destiny card. That is your blue, red, or gold card. We've talked extensively about those. And then when he's leveled up, each round, the first 3 times you play a card, I play a Destiny card, and it plays in order of blue, red, and gold. You have Zap Sprayfin, who is elusive. Elusive is good. Elusive plus higher education especially is good. When I'm summoned, draw a spell that costs 3 or less from your deck. So it's going to draw either Pick a Card or Make It Rain. Baseline. And then you could probably put spells that cost 3 or less in your deck. to pull from that. And then we have Runeterra, which costs 5. Play Cannon Barrage on randomly targeted enemies for each card you've drawn this round. And Cannon Barrage does heal 2 to a unit. If it's dead or gone, deal 1 to the enemy nexus. Again, if you get that bonus star, that'll be doing 3 to a unit, which is actually really strong. And if it's dead or gone, deal 2 to the enemy nexus, which is very good. You could also increase that further by using something like Luden's Tempest on Twisted Fate or Big Guns. I don't think that's the way you're going to want to go, but it is something that would probably be okay. Playing like 6 Cannon Barrages for 5 damage each would clear the board for sure, so that might be an option. I don't think it's going to be the best option though. For champion level, we're giving Slot Boss Tough. That'll help him stay alive and take more advantage of the stat shuffling. Black Market Merchant gets Giant's Belt. I almost prefer Studded Leather so I could block Fearsome. This just makes him live a little bit more, which I don't actually think is super helpful, because his effect is, well, he needs to be on the board for it to happen. When you draw an enemy card, reduces cost by 1, but you're not drawing an enemy card very often, only when you play him. Make It Rain has Grifter's Deck. This is good. This is your way to not deck yourself out. You'll just play lots of Make It Rains, and then shuffle it into your deck. So getting extra power on Make It Rain is probably going to be pretty important. Pole Shark has Studded Leather, fine, but not really anything special. Except Sprayfin has Pickaxe. This will help him do more damage to the Nexus, assuming there are no elusive blockers. Make It Rain has Charging Sigil 1, so that's +1 damage on it. Would prefer that to be Charging Sigil 2 or 3. I mean, 3 is probably asking too much, but 2 probably would have been fine. This will at least make it so that you can damage tough units at base, but not super great. Although burn damage might be a way that Twisted Fate can play, it's going to be something that we're going to have to play around with a lot to figure out. Pick a Card has Ardent Censer. That's fine, I guess. Runeterra has Savage Shield, so +1/+3, so he'll drop as a 5 cost, 5/8. Zap Sprayfin gets Ancient Coin, that's actually really good. -2 cost would be better, but you know, whatever. Dreadway Deckhand has Philosopher's Stone. When you play, draw a card, and that is the champion level upgrades. I don't think there's anything there that's particularly insane, but it's fine. I think higher education here is going to be really important to making your deck really feel well-rounded. And then Star of Discovery I think is very powerful. Star of Wonder is not bad, assuming that we're ending up at the point where we can play Runeterra anyway. And Slotbot with Tech Evolution I think is also pretty good. So overall, I mean, we have to play it to find out, right? But overall, I think it's probably fine. I don't think anything in there looks game-breaking, but it's definitely at least fine. But you never know until you play. So we're going into Thresh. When I was doing the new player's guide, I learned that Thresh Adventure is something that a lot of champions can do at 2 stars. So let's see if Twisted Fate can do it at 3 stars. Uses Lit seems like something that we can take advantage of. This will hit Make It Rain, it'll hit red card and gold card as well. So I'm going to take that. I'm assuming it's not the best thing to take, like more mana would be good, Perfection would be incredible, but it's offered to me so I take it. Keeping Slotbot might have been a thing I was supposed to do. But I was thinking, basically, what we're going to do in this early round is just attack and then Make It Rain. Taking advantage of that Fuse is Lit, although we are punished for it by the Crawling Sensation making more spiders. I'm going to pass here, they're likely to play a card. And then we can red card doing 3 to all the units. because of the Fuse's lit ability, and we clear their board, which is great. We have Ruined Rex now. We haven't drawn a lot of cards though, so potentially we want to hold it until later. Okay, they didn't play any cards, which is interesting. I think I'm going to play Pool Shark here to draw a card. I don't love that, but there's nothing I can do about it. Flip one of the Ruined Rexes. Play Dreadweight Deckhand. We want to deal damage before we hit with Black Market Merchant. When you play your third card each round, create a 1-cost. Third card kind of sucks. I'm gonna be honest. So you probably want to keep the wild card until the next round so you can move into another wild card. I'm gonna play it here though because I want to attack. And again punished by Falling Sensation. Steal one of his cards. So plundering will also reduce the cost of the card. That's good to know. Because plunder does count as a draw. Here we get a bunch of cards. We're going to throw the Pool Shark away. Going to drop Ruined Rex. And we'll drop Slot Bot. That's pretty good. That adventure can cost you a lot of health. It only cost us 5. So I'm pretty happy with that. Loaded dice is funny, but it's never actually been good. I'm gonna take it anyway because it's funny though. Might never get to play it. Might not help if we do. Could take the Fangs for lifesteal here. Also have Star Shaping to heal. We need to think about how we're dealing with Trendemir. I think that's an okay way. Probably not the best way. So one thing that I wasn't really paying attention to last time was the importance of playing 3 cards in a round. I was just kind of playing them as they came up, which makes sense, but, you know, isn't the goal. You can kill this guy. If we do, he's just going to come back next round. But if we don't, he's going to kill our Powder Keg, or maybe just hit our Nexus. Either way, not something we're looking forward to. But we can also use that opportunity to play 3 cards. And then we will draw. Don't think there's a way to play 3 cards here. Maybe if we blue card. Then we can drop Slot Bot, Pool Shark. Then we can red card here. This will do 4 damage. Might have been worth saving it for next round. Then we attack. I think we definitely don't have a way to play 3 cards here. I want to take a damage, so I'm going to block. We'll flip, zap, spray pin. Question is, how are you triggering plunder? Because my initial thought was that you would put the plunder relics on Twisted Fate and then you'd be able to play them because you could play red card. But we actually don't have very good access to red card. Going to silence here. That'll make it so when we drop Ruined Rex, It is easier to remove. Didn't work anyway. And we lose our poor loaded dice.
There's a scent in the air. Can't afford to miss.
Flip. Play the things. And we're going to cost reduce Aurelian Soul, which will give us another Destiny card. Just going to eat the damage here, basically.
Wait a minute.
Trade some units off. They don't have many cards in hand. Finally pick up Twisted Fate. I don't know if passing is correct here. Feels like it could be. We're just going to red card. And apparently lose Twisted Fate, so... that's fine, I suppose. Play new Twisted Fate. So normally you want to avoid taking champions. I think in this case it's probably fine because we don't have the level 20 power to draw a champion at game start anyway. And then Rummage is interesting. This is just free damage, so we're definitely going to take that. We can take Reunited, it's just kind of good. It's bland, but it's good. Take 3 copies of that Warning Shot. I think I'm actually fine taking 3 copies of the Rummage too. These are all abilities that we'll get good value out of. So you have the 2 slot bots in hand. Not doing anything on this round. I think not playing on round 1 is going to be a thing. Can drop slot bot here. Then rummage. And then hope I rummage into... didn't. I was hoping I was going to rummage into Warning Shot. But for now, we're just gonna kind of relax. Now that they've spent out their mana, I'm gonna make it rain. Maybe we should have waited until the attack. Take extra damage for no reason. I'm gonna play slot bot here. I'm gonna rummage these out. You pick up Twisted Fate, which is nice. We can't play this round. And as you can see, the cost reduction went away, which is a little bit frustrating. Oh, I shouldn't have played Warning Shot. That was a big mistake. Because my goal was to red card and clear all of their units, which would have worked. But instead I did the wrong thing. So I'm going to take damage here for no reason. Fine. I drop the deckhand, increasing the power of our powder kegs. I'm going to pass. I thought they were going to play card. My bad. That's okay. We're going to red card now. Clear the board. Toss Twisted Aurelian Soul back in the deck. I think they had all that to play and they just chose not to. Yeah, sure. Star Shaping. Take Cosmic Inspiration. Play Cosmic Inspiration. We want to keep our stats up with their stats. I wasn't really paying attention to how many hit points the enemy Nexus had. Probably could have won earlier. Elixir of Iron has draw. It's probably fine to take. We have to take a card there anyway. Duelist is fine, but I think I'd rather save the gold here. We could take something like Nora. 5 cost 8/9 isn't bad. It's also elusive. I'm gonna take a copy of it for Trendemir because we're gonna need the elusives. I think I am gonna get rid of loaded dice here. I don't think I'm ever actually gonna play that card. I always want to, but it's not good. It just costs too much. Alright, so Trendemir, you have to kill his units twice. If you can't manage to pull that off, then killing them once is just bad for you. This is fine, we'll just get hit. Maybe I should have make it rain after I got challenged. I think I want to pass. Play Zep Sprape in here. Take advantage of the elusive. But I want to keep these powder kegs for this round. And fortunately wasn't able to capitalize on them quite like I wanted to. If we can draw 3 cards that we can play, we can get a Destiny card. And with the Destiny card, I can red card. Which is my plan, except that I was going to do it by playing Twisted Fate instead. Which would have been a little bit better, but, you know, here we are. He's obviously going to play Trendemir, so I can just pass. This guy will go down twice. Really have to remember that Warning Shot eats my powder keg. So we have basically 3 mana to use here, so I'm going to drop Slot Bot. And then not attack. 3 mana is because we are going to get immediately attacked and die. That's not great for me. Oh well. I was going to Supernova the 2 giant units, and then that would have been fine, but then he just open attacked with Battle Fury. That kind of ended my life. So, yeah. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure, like, if we run it again, I'm gonna win. But that is my first impression of Twisted Fate. Overall, I think he's probably going to be a little slow, but we'll have to see once we equip him with good relics exactly how fast he can go and what he can accomplish. If we can keep him alive and on the board, and like getting him on the board is important. I think that will go a long way into making him feel powerful. Yeah, right now he doesn't actually feel that great. Games are going to be slow. It's kind of hard to play 3 cards in a round, especially early, which is when you need it. You don't have access to good stuns, except for through your 3-star ability, Wildcard 2. But you do need to play 3 cards in order to get there, so we'll see. Maybe something like Grave Digger's Spade for the extra draw, and you just always draft low-cost cards? I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. Obviously you can't take a loss the first time you play the game too seriously. You also can't take a win the first time you play the game too seriously, because neither of them are really showing what the champion is capable of in his final form. But that is all for me for now. I'm sure by the end of the night I'll have figured out how to beat Lysandra with Twisted Fate. Maybe I'll do Viego, we'll see. Oh, I forgot, there's new adventures. Let's look at those. So here we have, everything's done here, so nothing changed there. Pretty sure nothing changed on the nightmares as well. But in the Rogues of Runeterra event, we do have 2 more completions. I actually thought they were going to give us 4. For the Desert Rose, Scorn of the Moon, Wuju Bladesman, Cardmaster. My guess is these are both going to be Bilgewater and Ionia requirements. Oh, I was wrong. We have an Any region and a Shadow Isles for the Desert Rose. Oh, also for the Desert Rose, a thing you can do is just draft a lot of cards that cost 5 or have 5 attack with as low cost as possible, and then you just play them and they attack, and like you win the game that way. You can do that kind of at any level. It's a really good tactic for this adventure. I'm probably going to throw Elise at this though, because that sounds super fun. And for Targon, we have a Freljord and an Any region. That's nice. Like that they did that. I'm going to use Sett for the Any regions just so that we have more Sett gameplay. For the Wuju Bladesman, we have a Runeterra, which is fine, and in Any region. For the Cardmaster, we have Vandal City, and in Any region. So probably Vagar for 3-star. Maybe, if you can get him on the board. I like the Any regions though, that was really nice of them. And then for Shurima, this is our new adventure. This is the Grand Heist Part 2, so it's a Grand Heist except that also we have Threat Escalation. When the player gains the attack token, grow the foe's weakest unit stats to 1 more than the strongest unit stats. We have Deadly, and we have I'm Assembling a Team, which is the drafting with +2 rerolls. So the Grand Heist has some interesting adventures. I think Deadly is going to make it really hard as well. The Cloghand adventure, you'll start with like a 12-12 Overwhelm unit on the board, and then the foes are just going to get stronger because of threat escalation. I think in this adventure it was the Dawn Speaker's ability, which is round end. If one of the foe's units was killed this round, grant their units +1/+1. This is just going to hyper accelerate, especially with Deadly. I'm in the wrong section. With Deadly, how strong the opposing units are going to be, but I don't know, the region requirements seem okay. So we'll have to see how that actually feels. I'm guessing it's going to be pretty difficult, especially since it's a 6.5 star. But you do get a Gold Star Vessel at least from the first win, and then I don't know what the other 9 wins are going to be, but I assume it's going to be something good as well. Maybe you get more Gold Star Vessels, maybe you get like a full Nova Crystal at some point, probably not. But yeah, we'll have to see. And we'll do all of these. I'll make videos for these 10. And then probably for the Cardmaster, we'll do those 2. And then for Ionia, we'll do these 2 as well. But we'll probably start with the Grand Heist because it's new and we want to show how that looks. And we have a lot of gameplay already of the Cardmaster and the Wuju Bladesman, so you should be able to just adapt what you've already been doing to those adventures. Anyway, that is now actually all for me. Thank you for watching. If you like what I'm doing, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.